yeah, that thing. Thank you, yeah.
Yeah,
that
brings about something about tearing into his leather seats.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Short Council. I'm your host, Tex Rockwolf, and with me this week, as always, are the PBD All-Stars, starting at my far left, Vanessa, Jeremy, and Caleb. And we're here with you this week, taking a look at episode 6 of Game of Thrones, Unbent, Unbowed, Unbroken. There was a lot of broken things in this episode. This was a sad one.
Sansa's virginity.
Oh no!
Why'd you have to start there?
Get it done with.
I don't know you anymore, Caleb.
We'll talk about the elephant in the room first here. We all know weddings are a sign of imminent violence, and unfortunately, Sansa, who we last week even were talking about how we felt like we could feel safe for her to some degree here, even though she was in the clutches of the Boltons. What fools we were.
Oh, well, this was always going to happen as soon as we knew that she was marrying him.
Well,
like that. We're not going to wait on that.
We got a little bit of, like, some Sansa action before that to kind of even it out, where she's getting the bath and
she
totally
really
for herself.
Yeah.
She really. I think I said out loud that she handled that like a boss.
She did. If she keeps doing more of that, she's safe.
I'm definitely coming around on the Sansa storyline. I mean, and certainly I've left this episode with more sympathy for her than I've ever had before.
Take off your clothes. Oh, no. You stay here, Reek. You watch.
Poor Theon. He had to watch Sansa get raped.
He was not okay with it.
Of course he wasn't okay with it.
Right.
I'm wondering if he's ever going to break this weak character and tell her, I didn't kill your brothers, just so you know.
I think that might be the direction.
If
there's going to be any redemption for him
from
at
the
all, that's where
preview,
we're gonna have
it
to
looks
go.
like Sansa's like gonna reach out to him.
Yeah.
Because
she
might
just
be,
saw what he's been turned into.
Right, now she's putting together the pieces and knows exactly the kind of man Ramsay is and what he's done to Theon, and if he reveals that her brothers are in fact still alive, or at least where last he saw them, that'll give her a lot of hope. She mentioned that there are friends and allies in the north, so I mean, obviously we can't feel safe for Sansa, and this was a very dark place for them. Hopefully Theon can break free of this terrifying hold that Ramsay has on him.
As far as weddings go, it wasn't that bad.
No one got stabbed, and no one puked their guts out, or
white wedding.
Clawed their throat.
Snow on the ground, her dress was white.
It was a white wedding. Yeah.
Coining, I'm TM.
So, this is there some dark times for Sansa Stark in Winterfell.
Mm-hmm. Especially with Stannis is marching on the wall, but now we also have to deal with Littlefinger playing his little games, and
he won't put Sansa in any danger, though. You know that.
The Lannisters aren't going to make it. They got to get through Moat Cailin. Winter is coming. There's no way that Lannisters are going to make it.
They're not going to get up there, but he is playing his games now, and
he's
I would
trading
thank her
up.
for
He's
being
trading
up there.
Yep.
He's taken steps up every single time here. He was the Lord of Harrenhal. I mean, he was the Lord of of his little lordship in the Finger Islands, and then the Lord of Harrenhal post some of his dealings there, and then he becomes the Lord of the area, which is a huge stronghold point. He's mentioned it before, and now he wants to be the Warden of the North. And he just keeps carving out bigger and bigger pieces of Westeros for himself.
Starting to see his
fucked up.
I think I figured out what he'll probably do next. He's gonna end up letting Stannis is gonna come there. I'm guessing the Boltons are gonna lose, and then Littlefinger will come marching right back and be like, "Oh, King Stannis."
That's a smart maneuver. I mean, he is probably the strongest candidate for someone who could be king, at least in the interim. A figurehead to stand behind and throw his weight behind.
he played Cersei well. He knew exactly what he was doing. She flew off the handle just like he knew she would.
But on the way into his meeting with Cersei, where all this was discussed, of course, he met up with the Faith Militant. And I think that he's keenly aware of how dangerous King's Landing is and how volatile that is. And the monarchy, I think basically assumed that Peter Baelish is the smartest guy in the room. And so he's already figured out that things are going to explode in King's Landing. So he wants nothing to do with any monarchy seated in King's Landing right now. That's going to become like the home of the faithful, and he's going to... look at his options now.
I have always counseled loyalty to the throne.
That's not all that's going on in King's Landing. Lady Olenna showed back up. Oh, it was so nice seeing her.
Yeah.
You smell the shit from 5 miles away.
Yeah. Man, Cersei rolled critical successes on her nasty bitch roll to really stick it to Olenna there in the meeting. Yeah. Like, totally disrespectful. Not giving an inch. She's definitely trying to take Tywin's place. I'll give it to her. She's bargaining with a strong hand.
She's
and playing dumb.
Hard.
Yeah.
I found peace in the light of the Seven. You can too. They watch over all of us, ready to dole out mercy or justice.
They really railroaded them at that trial.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, for sure. I just realized Cersei talked to both the people who killed her son. Sorry. In this episode.
Yeah.
Random Jerfax.
But yeah, no. I think that she feels pretty secure with Baelish, though, so he's gonna, at least she didn't completely win this episode, but her upward arc is so short-term, though. Lancel said it earlier this season that justice is going to come for them all, and as soon as as soon as they're done with the Tyrells, they're just going to move right in onto the monarchy. The rumors that have been going around about Loras and his lovers and what he does in his bedroom are not so dissimilar from the rumors that have been going around for so very long about Jaime and Cersei.
And they already have Lancel directly working with the Faith. He confessed his sins.
He knows exactly what he did and what Cersei did, up to and including murdering the previous king by proxy, by fortifying his wine.
That trial.
He knows it all, and it's going to be really easy to railroad her. And, I don't know how she's going to get out of this one, especially now that she isn't going to have her brother's support. Because down in Dorne, Jaime Lannister and Bronn show up at just the nick of time to not thwart the Sand Snakes. That whole scene really exploded.
It's the dumbest looking fight I've ever seen in the show.
It kind of fizzled, yeah.
It was so bad.
Well, it all escalated really quickly. Like everyone, we're going to go do this.
Crossing paths in the garden.
It looked like a bunch of
scarecrows
fighting each other.
No, I think you may have said it earlier that the characters were wearing.
Yeah, the two main characters you're supposed to like in the scene are wearing outfits that you can't recognize them in.
It's took a lot of the visual.
It took a lot away, and they're fighting these. The Sand Snake costumes were stupid this time around. They look like Ewoks.
Well, what was it that
Ewoks are
fucking Ewoks?
Let's say, what was it that I remember someone made a comment about how it looked kind of like Xena and Hercules,
yeah.
Like the combat and everything just
low
looked kind
production
of,
value, just bad. Cheesy writing.
All just happening in broad daylight. They're just gonna scoop these people out in broad daylight.
I like to improvise.
But now they have
also have
Jaime Lannister, who infiltrated their country.
He's fucked.
Yeah, to steal their ward that they were protecting.
I like how what's his face, the prince there, the little prince, the son. He's just like, hey, what's up, Uncle Jamie?
Actually, I was kind of impressed with him. He was like, oh, you're here in these clothes? hey, what's that blood splatter?
Yeah.
Knife, and then it's like, oh, well, he...
But to begin with, he was a little oblivious for, like...
Well,
I would have been like...
Marcella was more so. She was like, Uncle Jamie? Like, what
Why
are
are
you
you
doing?
here?
Why are you here
Yeah.
watching me kiss my new boo? Like, what's going on?
I kind of wanted him just to be like, I'm your dad.
Right?
Come
And
with
then
me, I'm
just
your
leave.
father.
Yeah, just get real serious. Well, that's the thing. They should have guessed that every second that they were sitting there arguing over it was. I mean, this is this insane daylight mission to try to steal away the ward.
The Prince of Dorne is at the Water Gardens. I mean,
Oh,
He was
it's
like
so
right
bad
up on the
for him.
balcony, just like...
right, just watching.
He's so
Oh, yeah.
he's so
Will
impotent.
you go
He's
down
so
there?
powerless. It sucks watching him because I'm sure he's like a good actor or whatever,
Yeah,
but he's just
he is
got
a
like
good
nothing to
actor.
work with. He can only sit in his chair and like give orders to other people. So the only people he's interacting with are anybody who happens to be in his little observatory area.
But he
Like,
still has time to be like, hey, do you know how to use that axe still? You old timer?
waxing poetic with his personal guard. And then that kind of continued when he caught Jamie and was like, before you lost your hand, it would have been
When you were
fun.
whole.
When you were whole, it would have been interesting.
That guy's cool.
He seems cool. It's just
Yeah.
like,
But
he kind of walked in on like kind of a weird, fucked up fight that like, and Bronn got cut. These are Oberyn's daughters. The blades are poisoned. Bronn, you got to do something. But this is really, unless Prince Doran like uses this as some kind of diplomatic opportunity to get something major that he wants.
Yeah.
Jamie's totally fucked. I don't think that they're going to be inclined to cure Bronn's poisoning.
yeah, he's a nobody.
It's yeah. And well, that's what happens to sellswords. Bronn would tell you himself. I mean, that's the way she goes, boys.
He would. He would too.
I've been all over the world, and if there's one thing I've learned, it's that meanness comes around.
He's in a better situation, probably. Well, I don't know. Jamie's in a better situation still, probably than Tyrion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Tyrion.
Bronn might die quickly. Like Jorah's not going to. That's for damn sure.
No, Jorah's not going to die quickly, and it doesn't seem to have progressed too much. I don't think, like visually, it doesn't seem like it's gotten
Maybe a
much
little bit
bigger
more.
from the last time. But I'm surprised he's not taking some kind of step to do something. I know I mentioned last week that he needs to chop that shit off, but like kind of burn in the wound or something.
I'm
like
wondering if it's contagious. Like if he were to be like, beep, touch someone with it, are they gonna suddenly get grayscale?
how contagious
Like-
is it?
works,
Yeah,
right?
It's like throughout his bloodstream. Is it too late?
If
now?
he keeps like going like this with his like, if he grazes on his fingers, he's gonna be like, oh shit,
But
like,
that's
oh
not-
no, oh, like it could be really bad.
Don't let them touch you!
Jorah hasn't been reading the Westeros Times
Yeah.
lately, so he
Not
doesn't
the
know.
obituaries, at least.
Yeah.
No.
Just
you
the
know.
comics. Garfield, he loves Garfield.
And,
Who doesn't love Garfield? Everyone hates Mondays,
Yeah.
But some devastating news for Jorah there. He definitely still loved his father and really missed, him, and
Made
really
him think for a
regretted
second, like, holy shit.
being a disappointment. I think maybe in some ways he was always. Well, I mean, we know that before he went to go to the side of Daenerys, he had designs on going home pardoned. So you imagine that he was probably looking to eventually try to meet up with his father again. Reconcile, do something, at least, what other reason to go back home?
Right.
So, I mean, knowing that he's never going to have that. But the other really cool thing was his little speech about how he came to believe in Daenerys Targaryen.
Yeah.
And after Tyrion starts questioning her rightfulness of being on the throne,
Have you ever heard baby dragons singing?
No.
It's hard to be a cynic after that.
Tyrion almost got killed. He almost got killed.
I'm really shocked that that's the story that he went with.
Yeah.
That you can't kill me because they'll never believe that it was a dwarf's penis.
You could tell he was freaking out, though. He
Oh,
was
sure.
trying to think quick on the spot, right?
Well,
You can't do this. No.
it's-
I gotta be alive. Fresh cock.
I mean,
that's the only thing that works.
He thought of something. I'll give him
Yes.
that. I'm just saying it wasn't. It was kind of a long shot,
What was he
like
going to do?
like
Tell
after-
them who he is, tell him his family, tell him, oh yeah, the queen totally has a ransom out for me, probably.
Right.
Because that's what he has to know. Varys told him when they were on the boat and, going across in the little crate.
knows.
Everyone knows. They're all looking for you. You gotta stay hidden. It's very important.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not going to tell a bunch of slavers that they could get a shit ton of money if they just take him back to King's Landing.
But once he gets his opening, he just keeps on working on the slavers and gets them both, kind of in a more favorable position as a representative, I guess, and some
Jorah the
fighting
fighter.
master,
Yes.
Sure, he's a bit long in the tooth, a bit withered. Been in the sun too long. We can all see that. But he is a veteran of 100 battles. They wrote songs about him.
Jorah puts the cherry on top at the end there, like
I killed a Dothraki.
telling truths about himself because he is an awesome fighter.
He's got a substantial record. I mean, there's no question about that.
That true?
It'll be exciting to see where this goes. And
Especially when they get into Marine to do the fighting things and see if anybody recognizes Jorah right off the bat.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah.
Hey.
I get the feeling some slavers are going to get their throat cut, perhaps when they come into port. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to see some assholes get what they got coming to them. Because there wasn't a lot of winning this episode. Arya got a little bit of it, depending on your point of view.
Yeah, Trevor.
Her career advanced.
She advanced her career in Faceless Man Studies at the Community College of the Black and White.
She's just a few more credit hours away from graduating.
Well, she got down into the lower crypts this time.
She took us.
Lab work now.
After finally figuring out what was going on with this game, who are you? Tell me a lie and see if I can tell whether it's a lie or not.
She did both that whole time. She told a little bit of the truth and a few lies.
Well, she I think was forced to face a bit of a truth about how she felt about the Hound. I was kind of glad that Jaqen could see right through that, say, oh yeah, you hated him, but, there was obviously some affection there. It was a conflicted relationship. It wasn't only one way.
She knew that she was safe with him, I feel.
Right. I'm not saying it's like a full on, like friendship and affection. Obviously, there was a lot of hatred there. To his dying day, she was on his list still. She refused to remove him from the list, but
she also didn't finish the job and kill him.
So it's kind of a what I think what it signifies is that not only is she willing to kill the people that she hates completely and that don't matter to her at all, but she'll kill somebody that or be cruel or however you want to say it to someone that she does have some affection for too, which I think is kind of like a step forward and basically being willing to do the job of a faceless man on anybody, which is I think kind of what they have to do, right? Like they have deals, contracts.
Well, it was easy for her to not take pity on someone she genuinely didn't like. Then she had to take pity on someone, that was the test when she had to weave the tale, take pity on the girl and kill her and give her a nice scene and then be totally okay with it.
I was wondering what kind of test that was, if it really truly was at all, or if he was just checking out the situation that just so happened to work out as a perfect test. But when he came up and told this story about how he's been everywhere, there's nothing that can be done. I was like, is this even his child? Whoa, what's going on here? Because you don't fucking
Could
know.
very well have been a faceless man.
See if she can see through his lies, because I think that's interesting that's part of the faceless man training. It's not just, being able to lie, it's being able to detect other people's lies and see through them, so.
You are not ready to be no one, but you are ready to be somebody else.
Dude, that hallway?
Yeah.
Oh, that great hall down in the crypts? Oh, that was gross. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was just kind of a weird, freaky, gross place.
We don't
all
really
those
need
faces.
to do this, but here it is.
How
goddamn big is this?
She's getting involved in some dark things. Dark things. I do not approve. We shouldn't. I'm just saying. I know that a lot of people are excited for her to go down this faceless man path, but I don't think we should be happy for Arya that this is all happening.
So what happens when she does get to be somebody else? Do we lose Arya?
Is this a way for Maisie Williams to step away from the role for a while? Is she doing a movie somewhere? I don't know.
Yeah, probably Resident Evil.
Oh, gross!
Sorry,
don't even. Next week looks like it's going to be a doozy. Hopefully something I would recognize as being a good thing will happen to somebody. This is Game of Thrones we're talking about.
And so if you came for good things, you've come to the wrong place.
Yes.
It is a good thing.
Join us back here next week for episode 7 of season 5 of Game of Thrones, and we'll punish ourselves a little bit more. Have yourselves a good night.
Peanut butter disaster.